Welcome back to another video with the Mary Angelo, and today we are doing a fade and braid service. So let's get into it. So here I am showing you guys the ratio from the hair that will be styled in the braids to the hair underneath that is in the haircut service. Everyone's ratio is a little bit different. So I like to show you the ratio before I get into it, because that'll kind of like determine like how many braids I'm gonna do, how like big or small. So I use my lock and twist after I get a strong middle part in there, and this is just laying down the foundation. So after I do the middle part, then I will break the right side and the left side into two different parts. So I'm just going in and like really defining the part with the lock and twist gel just to get a nice clean part before I go in and I separate the bottom section, which I am doing right now. And then I will use lock and twist on that part as well. So for the bottom part, I go in and I do 2 braids because if I went in and I did 3 braids, they would be too small in diameter, I feel, and like the braids itself would be like too thin. So I decided to do 2, that way it's a nice like diameter, and then it's a nice like thick braid too, but it's not too thick, it's like just right. And now we're at the top, and I break it into 3 sections doing a brick lay pattern, which basically means like the parts aren't right on top of each other. So when it comes to the front braid, the front top braid, I'll kind of like angle it more so that the braid like will like kind of like go over the front of his face and like go over the shape up. I think it looks really good, and like he kind of just tells me to do whatever I think will look best, and that's what I thought. So that's what I went in and did. And then for the top back braid, I'll do the same thing that I did in the front. I'll just kind of angle it towards the back because we're just following the shape of the head, you know. So then you're just going to braid that all the way down as far as you can on all of those braids, and then I put elastics on the end. And now I'm just mirroring everything I did on the opposite side. So I'm splitting the left section into 2, and then I'm doing 2 parts on the bottom, and then we'll do 3 on the top, so you can follow along till we get there to the top. Okay, so guys, we're almost done the top of the braids. So this part is real easy. Since you already did the other side, all you have to do is just continue the part over to the opposite side, and then, you know, follow the same braiding pattern. For the back, we angle it towards the back, middle, it can go in the middle, and then the front top, yeah, the front top braid, then you just kind of angle it towards the front of the face. Alright, and the braids are all done. I think he has about 10 on each side, and then it's the perfect, like, diameter of the braids. It's, you know, like the right amount of thickness. I think everything's looking real good, so I'm happy with that. Now it's time for the undercut. So the undercut, I start by debulking, and I do it with the one guard lever open, and I'm going with the grain just to debulk and kind of smooth it out. Now I'm going in and I did my first guideline. I did a mid skin fade on him, and he gives me creative freedom with the haircut too. Um, he's kind of like, you know, whatever you think looks good. So like when he first started coming, I kept the sides low and dark, and I did like a low taper on him. And then, you know, one day I was like, oh, let's do like a low skin fade. And then he liked that. And I was like, you know, all right, he's comfy with the low skin fade. Let me see if he wants to take it up a little bit higher and do mid skin fade. He was cool with it. So I went in and we started doing a mid skin fade. This is like the third time we've done it. And I really like the mid skin fade on him. So we just kind of keep going with it, you know. So now I'm just fading out the sides, and you guys can follow along until I get to the next part. So I'm a licensed barber and cosmetologist, and my clients know that when they come to me for styling services that I only really do it with the haircuts too. And it makes it easier. They only come into one place and one chair, you know, everything is nice and easy. They don't have to make all these separate appointments. So, you know, it works out for everybody. And this whole service takes about like 3 hours because when they get here, I wash and blow dry their hair and I prep it for the braids. That takes about 2 hours altogether, sometimes an hour and a half. And then the haircut usually takes about like 45 minutes to an hour. So yeah, about like 3 hours, but still it saves time and it can save money too, depending on like which barber or like stylist you go to. So here I'm going in, I'm shaping up the sides of it first. I like to do that. And then his like shape up is a little bit more difficult because you can see how in the center of it it's like fuller, it's more thick. And the sides it like kind of goes back a little bit. So how I address it is I always go in the middle first, and I go with the number one guard, and I'll have the lever open, and I'll go with the grain on it, and then I'll kind of like sculpt the sides of it, like just kind of like trim it a little bit so I could keep it as full and work with as much length as possible on the sides of it. And then like I'll take it back in the center just to like get it as close and even to the sides as I can. That's why I handed in the mirror. I was like, hey, do you want me to bring the center back a little bit more to get a little bit closer to the sides? But he wanted to keep it there and then just fill the rest in with enhancements. So that's what I went in and did. I used the like the spray, and then I went back over it with the fibers. I usually don't use the fibers, but in this case I felt like they would make it look a little bit like better on the sides, so I went and I did that. And then I used some hairspray just to lock everything in, and some cool air, and that'll also prep it for the razor work as well. And I go over it one more time with the trimmers just to make sure I get all the like overhanging hairs, and you know, just clean it up, straighten it up as much as possible. So I go with the grain first to get any like hairs that are growing in front of the hairline, and then I will go against the grain as well to get it as close as possible, as sharp as possible. And I'll go over it like a couple times just to make sure I get everything like, you know, just nice and like sharp. And I did do like a lower fade on the beard, and I feel like that helps that area to look a little bit fuller. You'll see when I go into the straight razor, it'll bring everything all together. Alright guys, so this video is pretty much done. This is the final result. Let me know what you think of the braids. Let me know what you think of the cut. Let me know what you think of both. And let me know what you want to see in the next video. If you want to see some more box braids, if you want to see a different style, if you want to see a color next time, just drop that below in the comments. And any other barbers or stylists that have any tips, you know, let me know, because I don't claim to be perfect. Alright, well, I'll see you guys in the next video.